Forester fans, my name is Lily Evans, and today I will be interviewing Coach Cat about the upcoming game against Wisconsin Lutheran. So, how are your new team members settling in?
Yeah, we just came out of camp obviously for game week, and classes started last week on Thursday. So I think that the adjustment to college football was the first piece of adjustment they had to do. Being away from home, with over half of our roster being from out of state in the freshman class. So I think that was an adjustment. Now that they're here and there's other students on campus, that first couple weeks, 10 days is like football, 9 a.m. till whenever. And I think that now that there's classes and other people, they're getting the social construct figured out. Getting their actually daily schedule ready. It seems to be going pretty well. Here we are. I like that the classes started last week for us and not during game week, because you got them 2 days to really jump into it. They seem to be doing really well. I can see them connecting with our upper class players right away, and that's a testament to those guys of being able to reach down and pull guys up instead of ignoring the freshmen.
Is there anyone who stood out during camp?
Oh gosh, that list is endless. Different days it was different people. I think that positionally, the two groups that have really stood out to me the most during camp are the defensive line group, which is obviously very heavy senior laden, all conference guys coming back, but also the tight end group. The tight end position group is one that in our offense plays a very big role with some of the things we do in the run game, but also in the passing game. And I think that there have been, over the last 2 years, we had 2 back-to-back seniors in Alan Hansen and Cooper Tomlin. This camp you've seen Jake Kostreis, Connor Forsythe, Bodie Rubright, Tyrone Pitts, Kelton McPherson, just Luke Kedziarski, just a large number of guys finding different ways to get involved and forcing me to put them on the field. And I joked that if I could find a way to put 6 tight ends on the field at one time, I might actually do it. But right now, we'll at least plan on seeing 2 or 3 a lot.
How do you feel about the progression between defense and offense?
Yeah, I think that the defense was, with 11 starters coming back, there's very high expectations for them to perform at a almost across the board all conference level. And I think that with the guys that we have there, the growth that they've made from last season to this year, the hunger that they still have, being completely dissatisfied with how last year ended, I'm really excited about how the defense is kind of stepping into the season. Offensively, we had some strides to make. We lose our top 2 leading rushers from last year in Armani Brown and Damon Bonds. We really have a good committee of running backs back there, 4 juniors that I think are really going to contribute there a lot. But we also have a couple talented freshmen, so there's competition there, and that makes me happy. Our passing game has been a little bit inconsistent just due to availability of wide receivers with some soft tissue stuff. There hasn't really been a good rhythm built up, and I'm hoping that over the next couple of days, as we get ready for Wisconsin Lutheran, we can kind of take that next step in that area. But I'm still really confident in our run game, and we just got to get the passing game to catch up to it.
Your special teams was really good last year. Can we expect to see the same thing this year?
I hope we actually improve upon it. We take great pride in the special teams here. We are graduating a huge threat at punter in Logan Person. So, having a couple of young guys battling for that spot. But Beckham Sonnabend, who was an all-conference place kicker last year, is back. Jace Knudsen, who led the league in return yards last year per game or per kick, is back as well. And then you add A.J. Jackson back into the mix, and so you get to be really excited about a guy that's a 3-time All-American returner being out there. And so from my perspective, we really expected to take that next step where we've always viewed ourselves elite on the conference level that way, and now we just got to take it to that national level and keep that prominence up there.
Do you have any big roles to fill this year?
Yeah, I kind of talked about the running back role already. That one, punter, and then the slot wide receiver position is pretty wide open as well. And then, we maybe only think in terms of the top 11 on each side of the ball, but on our defensive line, we really rotate a lot of guys there. And so for me, that position, rebuilding the depth there, I think we've got a couple of guys in Kyle Shalati and Nate Barnes who are ready to take the next steps in their careers in those spots. And then Michael Kelly, who was a freshman a year ago, really stepping into a role where he can play 40, 50 snaps a game as opposed to 10 to 15. I think that if they can take on bigger roles for their positions, it'll make our guys fresher and longer throughout the course of the season, and that's going to be a big, big factor.
What challenges do you think Wisconsin Lutheran presents, and how are you going to overcome those challenges?
Yeah, Wisconsin Lutheran is a really talented team. We've played them, I think like 8 years now. And they, on offense, they do a lot of things in the passing game and the RPO game. They really keep you on your toes and force you to be not only gap sound, but sometimes play a hat short and have to win the one-on-one battle to make a play. And so they've hit us a little bit in the run game the last few years on some of their draw plays and things like that. They did graduate their leading rusher, but they moved who arguably is one of their best players from wide receiver into that running back role. Defensively, they play a lot of quarters coverage and a lot of man coverage, and so that really requires us to get open quickly, provide avenues for the quarterback to throw the football. But they're really talented, really strong. They finished middle of the pack in their conference last year. They're going into, I think this is year 3 with their new head coach, and so you always kind of expect there to be a big jump. At that point, they've got some very experienced guys on the defensive line. Number 97 and number 60. 97 is a defensive end, 60 is a defensive tackle. Those two guys were really good against and really stout against us last year. Obviously, coming out of camp, they should be relatively healthy, and we'll have to really fight hard to make that an advantage for us and not for them.
All right, that's all I have for today. Thank you, Coach Cat.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you next week.